go to the website page to share. All right. So if you're yes, and it says that you're live. All right. Okay, let's see.
Yes.
Okay, hi everyone. Okay, let me just check.
Hello. Not on
Hello,
Facebook.
hi everyone. Okay, we are live
Hi.
already.
Hello.
Hang on. Where is my IWS page?
Yes.
It's okay.
We are in.
Are we on live?
Yes.
Yep, we are.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi everyone. Yeah, we're at 3 o'clock. Yes, we're exactly 3 p.m.
Hello.
Hey, hi
Yep.
everyone. So
Welcome.
welcome to our third BRIM virtual roundtable. All right, so I've got 4 other lovely ladies here with us, and I think before we go into the actual session, let's just have give us a bit of time, like about a minute or so, to allow us to share the Facebook Live to our individual pages so that we can reach more people. All right, so let's give it like a minute or so. And if you are there with us, say hello so that we know that you're here with us, and feel free. We will be actually taking some questions later on towards the end. All right, so hold your
Hi.
questions or if
Hi,
you
Winnie.
there,
Hmm.
able to answer you also as well. Right? Okay, hang on. Let me make sure that we are live. Hi, Winnie. Winnie is whose friend? Angie's friend.
Yes. Hello. Hello, Julia.
Hello.
Hi. Hang on. Let me just make sure that everything is okay. All right, so feel free, for those who are watching, you also feel free to reshare the link. I mean, or rather reshare this live broadcast to your friends. All right, so that we can actually help to listen to more people as well. Let more people learn from these 4 fantastic ladies. So feel free, for those who are watching, you also feel free to. Oh, why am I hearing myself? All right, okay, so it's really 301. I mean, ladies, I believe you have shared to most of your friends already. All right, so let us officially start this particular, the third webinar here that's coming to you live in Singapore or from Singapore. All right, so hi, good afternoon, everyone, or good morning or good evening to wherever you are that's watching us live. All right, thank you once again for joining us for this BRIM virtual roundtable. My name is Annie. I will be helping to host this particular session, and I'm also the president for IWFCI Singapore, the organization that's bringing this BRIM event to you. All right, so I'm very thankful for this 4 wonderful ladies, Marie, Julia, Angela, and Christy, for taking their afternoon off on a Monday afternoon. I know Monday usually is like it's Monday blues and all that, but thank you so much for taking this time to join us for this particular third session for the BRIM virtual roundtable. So BRIM itself basically refers to business, relationship, image, and mental attitude. So as this is the third session, we will definitely be focusing on image and branding. I'm sure all of us at some point in our career or even in our entrepreneurship journey, we have come across and at some point stumble with this thing about branding, this thing about image. And I too have my own fair share of confusion and question mark in my head. Like, okay, so what exactly, what kind of image should I be upkeeping? What kind of branding should I be carrying, and so on and so forth, right? I mean, friends who know me will know that I can be larger than life, I can be loud, I can be, doing the things that I want to. All right, but on the other hand, I'm fully aware that being a president of an association, I still have to maintain certain image and certain branding, right? Because after all, we are also who we stand for in terms of the role that we play. All right, so yes, I am also confused at some point in my entire journey. So don't laugh lah. I'm sure you also have. Okay. So just like my friend share, Angela will know. Sometimes she'll tell me,
Yeah.
you're the president. You must dress a little bit more impressive. I'm like, is that how a president dress? But okay, anyway. So yes, so I'm also very thankful that I've got friends like Angela that will remind me at what I should and what I maybe shouldn't wear. All right. So for friends out there who's watching us, feel free to help us like and share this particular video. If you have any question, feel free to type it out there. We will definitely try our very best to answer all questions, right? Okay, so I will not take so much of the time. Okay, I'm sure you all prefer to listen to the four ladies rather than just me. So to kick off the very first session, we will have Miss Angela Pua. So here's a little background about Angela. I know Angela, maybe more than 10 years ago. So she's a veteran in the fashion and image industry for the last 20 years. Actually, I thought was slightly lesser, but she looks so young, right? So she's trained and she's coached individual in different levels. I mean, from corporate to individual in all the diverse industry, you name it, she probably would have coached someone from that industry, from corporate to government as well. All right, and she also has done pageant coaching. She's done local and overseas projects as well. And her main focus is actually in image analysis, profiling, wardrobe planning, personal shopping, style and figure analysis. You name it, she probably have done something that's related to fashion. All right, so, and who better person than her to actually be sharing with us on how do we make an impression online. We're now all on Zoom half the time, so it is definitely important to learn a few tips here and there to ensure that we still create the kind of right impression online. Okay, so it's over to you, Angela.
Thank you. Thank you, President Annie, for the introduction and, of course, the opportunity to share with everyone the questions that has always been asked recently, especially in this new norm. So the question is, so do I still need to look as professional as before? I guess like what Annie said earlier on, right? Many people are quite confused in the sense that because everyone is going online and we are doing Zoom meeting while everything is going online. So does that mean that I still have to look good, or rather, do I still have to look as professional as before? So instead of answering you to this question directly, I will throw back two questions to you so that with that answers that you have, you will probably be able to answer it more clearly than I'll be able to provide you with the answers. Okay, so now, first question is, you probably like to ask yourself then, what is the definition of professional image? You see, a lot of us have got very different definition of things around us. Okay, like for example, today I'll be invited to an event and it says, the dress code says formal attire. So for formal attire, a lot of people, or rather in a Western country, formal attire means we will come in gowns and in tuxedo, but not in the Asian countries, or rather not even in Singapore. In Singapore, when it comes to formal attire, a lot of people, especially for guys, as long as they come in pants, right, and long sleeve, okay, that's it. That is called formal attire. For the ladies, as long as they come in a dress with heels, and then that's considered formal attire. So different people has got different definitions, and especially when it comes to professional image. So for the guys, formal or professional image doesn't mean that you must always be in a dark business suit. You must always in tie. You must in tailored pants, long sleeve shirts. Or to some, professional image means you just need to be in collar shirts, polo tee, and it's good enough. Whereas for the ladies, professional image doesn't mean that you must always be in high heel shoes, full makeup, style up hair, designer clothes all the time. Or to you, you just need to be in a dress, whether it's sleeve or sleeveless, and that's considered professional image. So what is your definition? I think it's very important for you to first determine yourself. What is your definition of professional image to you? All right. Now, the second question you probably want to think about it is, how do you want others to perceive you at work and of course in the society? Now, would you want people to perceive you as someone that is very friendly, you're very approachable, or you are someone that people can open up to and talk to you anytime, you know, and confront you, or come to you and ask for some opinions, you know, and do you, or rather, would you want people to look at you as someone that is very knowledgeable, trustworthy, respect you, looking upon you as a mentor? Or would you want people to look at you as someone that is very fun, very interesting to be with, someone that they want to connect with you all the time at work or rather at play? So these two, you will have to ask yourself, what is the definition of your professional image? Second, how do you want others to perceive you? Now, when these two is being answered, then you will probably like to consider what we call the 3Ps. What is the 3Ps? Now, in order to achieve a professional image, the 3Ps that we look into is people, place, and purpose. First, you have to determine who are the people that you are meeting. Are you meeting people like your clients, your suppliers, your vendors? Or are you having a meeting with your staff, your team, your supervisor, your boss, your subordinates? Or are you having a meeting with, like what we're doing now, the online learners and participants? So who are the people that you are meeting? Now, the second piece is the place. Is it going to be an online meeting or is it going to be an offline meeting? Now, an online meeting probably would be in places like in a Zoom or in a StreamYard. And of course, offline meeting, it could be places like you meet in an office, you meet in a casual place like a cafe, So what are the places, or rather, where are the places that you're going to meet this person? Now, the third P, we are talking about the purpose. What is your purpose of the meeting? Are you going to communicate with this person for work, for events, or is the purpose of this meeting mainly for sales? You're going to promote something, or is it going to be a branding? You're going to create a bit of awareness, or you're going to talk about services and products and things like that. All right. So these are the 3Ps that you have to consider. Now, basically today we are focusing more on dressing because you see a lot of people now are quite confused in the sense that now that we are going online, so do I still have to dress as what I dressed when I go out and meet people? So with these 3Ps to consider, that would definitely help you to come up with an answer. All right. Now, and of course, once your 3Ps is determined, we will definitely want to look at the clothes. So today, what should I wear? Right. So it's actually quite simple. All you need to do is you look at the styles and you look at the colors of the outfits, and then you will be able to, based on, the two questions I asked earlier, remember the two questions, the first question was like, okay, what is the definition of professional image? And then the second one is, how do you want others to perceive you? So when you have got these two questions to guide you, then you will know how to dress accordingly. So assuming today you are going to do a presentation online. Now, assuming your audience is a group of homemakers or ladies, so you want to portray an image which is very friendly, approachable, that people can connect with you easily. And then this would serve as your guideline to dress accordingly. Or for other occasion, if let's say you are doing a presentation online to a group of sales personnel, and then you need to portray an image because you are the leaders, and then you need to portray an image of authority as a mentors, then you may want to consider this so that when you are dressing up, you will know how to choose clothes that can give you a sense of giving you a bit of authority, and then you can command respect, from your audience and the presenters, the learners. So the two things that you have to consider in your dressing would be, first, the styles. What kind of styles? So a lot of people ask, okay, so Angie, what do I dress? Okay, I want to attend an online course like that. How do I dress? So when it comes to styles, you will have to consider, do I have to wear something that is long sleeve, short sleeve? Do I have to wear anything that is collar or no collar? Do I have to wear anything that is a bit short or long? So what should I wear? Even when it comes to neckline, do you think I should wear something that's a V-neck, round neck, or even a turtleneck? Which is better? All right, Adant. Now, whatever you choose, the key point here is this. You want to look more serious, then you have to show less skin, because the more skin that you show, the less serious you look. All right, so this would definitely helps you to decide how much skins you want to show, right? Okay. And then when it comes to styles, of course, we have to consider the prints that is on your attire as well. Now, there are many types of prints. We have got cartoon prints, we have got graphic prints, we have flower prints, we have polka dots, we have got checkers, we have got lines. All these are different kinds of prints on the attire. Now, prints do comes in different sizes. It can be big, medium, or small. So the bigger the prints, the more dramatic you look. And of course, when you look more dramatic, you look less serious, isn't it? Okay, so whether you want to look more dramatic, you want to look more serious, definitely when it comes to the sizes of prints, that's where you decide. If my audience are a group of audience whereby they are more fun and then they are more in the creative industry, I would like to look a little bit more interesting and more dramatic, and then you can go a little bigger on the prints. But if you are talking to a group of people who are a little bit more serious, and then when it comes to the prints, then you may want to consider to have it a little bit smaller so that it's not too loud and it's not too dramatic. And of course, not forgetting that your styles is one areas you consider, but another areas that you have to consider a lot is on colors. Colors is actually very interesting because especially for us now in Zoom, colors is the one that is most impactful because one look people can have a different kind of feels looking at you, because not forgetting that it's only the waist up. So what kind of colors should I wear for a Zoom meeting, or online meeting? Now, the point here is it does not matter what colors you wear, but it's the shades and the tint that you choose. So shades and tint basically refers to like a darker shades, darker colors like dark blue, dark green, dark yellow, dark purple. Brighter colors would be colors like bright green, bright yellow, orange, and red. And lighter color basically refers to the pastel colors. So instead of deciding, okay, what colors should I wear for this meeting or to meet this person, I would rather you decide on what is the shades and the tints that you should decide to choose for the meeting. Now we talk about dark colors like dark blue, dark brown, dark green, dark purples. The darker the color, the more serious you look, because darker color projects authority and it makes you look more serious. So definitely when you need to project a level of seniority and if you want to project a little bit of authority and you need to look more serious, this is a time whereby you choose a darker colors, right? Okay. And then what about lighter colors? Lighter colors like pastel colors. We probably talk about light pink, light purple, light orange, light greens. All these are pastel color. Now, the lighter the colors, the safer it appears, the softer it appears, because light colors are very friendly and approachable. It makes people open up to you and people are able to connect with you easily. So if you ask me, pastel color is actually the safest color to wear. Oops, sorry. Okay. Now, actually, if you were to ask me, right, pastel color is actually the colors to wear, the safest colors to wear. Okay, right. Now, So when we need to meet people, whether in the sales or in the marketing, pastel colors should be the colors to wear. Now, what about bright colors? Bright colors, because they are so loud, they are so bright, it's a color whereby it creates the most emotions. It can create emotions like excitement, joy, anxiety. So these colors, because it's too loud, it can be very dramatic. And because of the emotions that it can create, it is best to be avoided, especially when we are meeting people for the first time. I noticed that a lot of people like to choose bright colors for Zoom meeting, online meetings, because thinking that, hey, because it's a bit dull, so I need to look a little bit brighter for colors. But you forgot that, hey, actually, some people has got, you see, like for us, we have got colors that we like and we have got colors that we dislike. There are people who dislike certain colors. So if you were to wear, like, for example, red color. Red color is a beautiful colors, but red color is also a colors that to some people, when they see red, they see danger. When they see red, they feel a little bit, too excited. And it's not a color that is very soothing to the eyes, like especially when we need to look at you on the screen for a period of time. And then after a while, they realize that, hey, it's a bit eyesore to look at because it's not comfortable to the eyes. It's not pleasing to the eyes. So these are colors that is best to be avoided. Bright color is best to be avoided when we are having an online meeting. And actually, not only online meeting, in fact, for offline meeting as well, because for offline meeting, right, we meet this person face to face. Not forgetting that a face to face, a lot of times, where we look at a person, not only they look at the body language, they look at your attire as an overall as well. So be it whether it's an online meeting or an offline meeting, bright colors is usually not the best choice that we'll wear for meetings like that. Okay, so the three colors that I mentioned earlier, dark colors, bright colors, or light colors, which color would you choose for your next meeting? Then you will decide. Again, back to the two questions which I asked you earlier. You have to know, how do you want people to perceive you? If you want people to perceive you as someone that is very serious, and with a bit of authority, then dark colors should be the choice. But if you need to project an image that you're very friendly and very approachable, then go for a lighter shades of colors. All right. So to end this, I just want to summarize that a professional image, be it whether it's online or offline, it is still very important in this new norm. So I hope everyone remembers, and the next time when you go online, do take this into consideration and ask yourself these questions. How do you want people to perceive you? And you dress accordingly. All right. Thank you.
Okay,
Back to
thank you
you,
so much.
Annie.
Thank you so much, Angie. All
So
right, so I
sorry, just
hope
my phone dropped.
you're not too excited, right?
My phone actually dropped.
All right, thank you so much, Angie. Okay, I
Yes,
hope those who are
yes,
listening to us or
yeah,
listening to Angie wrote down what you have. I'm like scribbling here as well. So, right, because I know
yeah.
I make mistake as well. All right, this is what I wear and what color I choose because I have my own favorite color, like what Angie said, right? But sometimes we really have to look at the people that you're gonna meet, the purpose, and also the place that you're gonna be meeting, right? If you're gonna be meeting outdoor, you can be wearing your fur coat, right? It doesn't make a lot of sense. All right, so I hope you all have picked up some good tips from Angie. If you have some questions, feel free to leave it there. Type it in the comment, and we will definitely come back to tackle some of this question that you all may have that we can post to Angie a little later on. All right, so thank you again,
Okay,
Angie.
thank you.
So now you're going to move to something that a lot of us are quite familiar with, but whether we're doing it all right or we're doing it all wrong, all right, let us hear from our next speaker. She's none other than Julia Chong. So Julia is a lifestyle and business creator. She's passionate to empower women to establish our personal brand presence so that we can achieve our business and our career goal. And although this is all, and through her first business, Julia actually learned the importance of knowing who you are, what you stand for or what you don't stand for, and who do you serve, which therefore compels her to make sure the foundation of her own personal brand is strong. Right, with this knowledge and skill, she research, learn, and pass it on to her client, helping them to find their voice, their purpose, and strategies to also achieve their goals and dreams. So today, Julia is on a mission to help women establish a strong personal brand presence on social media, all right, so that they're up to date, they're more current, and of course, at the same time, to attract their target audience for business and for work. I also know I also make mistake on my social media branding, but let us all hear from Julia and pick up some tips from her. So over to you, Julia.
Thank you, Annie, and thank you for the opportunity for me to share with you something that is very close to my heart. So before I start, I would like to ask you 3 questions, okay? So number 1, are you struggling with putting yourself on social media? Number 2, are you struggling to price your product or services? And number 3, are you struggling to create content for your target audience? Okay, so if your answers to the above question is either one or all of it, then you're in the right place. So why people struggle with all these things is basically, one of the many reasons is basically you don't have a very strong footing in your personal branding. So when we say personal branding, everybody know what personal branding is, but sometimes everybody don't really know what personal branding is because many people out there are teaching about personal branding through their own expertise, through their own subject matter expert, right? Through their own perspective. So you can hear people teach personal branding like image styling like Angelia, and there are people who use specific social media platform to do personal branding. For example, how do you do your personal branding on LinkedIn? So no right, no wrong is everybody has their own perspective in doing personal branding. But for me, after lackluster first business, I find that personal branding is holistic. So for me, personal branding starts from inside out. Okay, so what do I mean starting from inside? Which means you need to understand yourself first, which I term it as internal branding. Then once you have this, then you translate out to your external branding, which is your brand identity. Okay, so if you have pen and paper ready, so maybe you can take some notes. Now, how to set your foundation right? These are some of the things I will ask my client to do. So number 1, the first question I will always ask is, who are you? Okay, so you can write down on a piece of paper, who am I? So in general, a lot of people will respond this way. I'm a mother, I'm a business person, I'm a working professional, I'm a wife, I'm a sister, I'm a brother, okay? But what I'm asking you is, who are you as a person? So I look at your character and your personality. So on a piece of paper, you can write, who am I, the question, and then have a column, character, the other column is personality, and then write down maybe about 10 of your character, 10 of your personality, and that is you. So when somebody asks you, who are you, you would know who you are. So why is this so important to know who you are? Because the core of who you are will not change. Whether you're very successful, very happy, or if you're encountering any challenges, experiencing any problems or issues, the core of who you are will never change. Okay, so make sure you know who you are. It's okay if you don't really know or you know, but it's good to write it down. Okay, then the second thing is, what is your vision and mission? So these words are all very normal, or I would say that usually you find this vision and mission in corporate, in companies. But as a personal brand, you also have your own vision and mission. So your vision is something that is like 5 years, 10 years, something that is higher, is bigger, something that you want to achieve in your lifetime. And a mission is the vehicle that drives you to your vision. Okay, so very important, need to have a vision and mission, because if not, then you don't know what to do, or you're here there everywhere. There's no purpose, there's no direction in your life. Okay, so establish your vision and mission. Then the next thing is also like what Angelia has also shared. Who do you serve, or who do you want to work with? So this is your target audience. Now, you must remember this target audience is very important, okay? Because you have to know who you serve and who you want to work with, and then you must know what are their pain points, okay? So if you know their pain points, their challenges, their problems, and how your product or services will be able to help them. Now, this is important because it will go to the next point, which is your message. Have you heard of this statement? Speak to one, speak to all, speak to all, speak to none. So which means that if you don't know who your target audience is, don't know their problems, don't know what challenges they're facing, and if you craft a message out there on social media, it does nothing for you except that people read and then they move on. So you will want your message to evoke a emotional response from your target audience, be able to create meaningful conversation on social media. Okay, so remember, your target audience is very important and you must know them. You must know what their pain points, what their challenges, so that your products and services is able to help them. So this is the foundation which you need to establish, okay? Once you have all this done, then the next step is learning how to create your personal brand presence on social media. Okay, number one, focus on your subject matter expert. So what are you very good at? What is your specialty? And what is your passion? Okay, what are you passionate about? So once you have this, then create content around your subject matter expert to inspire, to motivate, and to educate your target audience. Okay, now for example, if you are very, very passionate to help people to go from flabby to very fit, then create content around topics like health, fitness, and wellness. Okay, and remember to use words that resonate with your target audience. The second thing is how you're going to differentiate yourself from the rest of all the people who are within your industry. Now, all of us, some of us who have started the online business a few years ago, will find that today is very, very, very congested. It's very competitive. But you do not fear, okay? Don't have to be afraid because you need to know how to differentiate yourself from the rest of the people within your industry. How do you do that? Now, you got to find your superpower. Okay, so what is a superpower? When I use this term, a lot of people are like, wow, superpower is such a big word, or they will say that I don't have any superpower. But today I want to tell you that you have superpower, just that it's not being said or you didn't identify it. Okay, so how do I define your superpower? It's something that you do very well, so well that people will come running to you for it. Okay, now let me take an example. For example, a content writer who writes blog posts for their client. There are a lot of content writers out there writing blog posts, right? Maybe they take a month to write 10 blog posts, but maybe for you, you take only 14 days to finish 10 blog posts, and that is your superpower. Or somebody who write articles for clients, and each time they write an article, they're able to publish it on platforms like Forbes, Huffington Post, which is very difficult to get published. But each time you write it, and each time it get published. Whereas the other people within your industry is not able to do so. Sometimes they get in, most other times they don't. So it's a hit and miss for them. But to you, every time you write, you're able to publish it there. So that is your superpower. So if you can write down what is my superpower, take some time, during the weekend or off time to look at what you are good at, very good at, and everybody comes to you, to help them solve their problem. Okay, last but not least, consistency. Now, this word is like everybody knows how to be consistent, but people dread to be consistent. But if you want to build a strong personal brand presence on social media, you need to be consistent. So there's 3 areas that you can look into to be consistent. Number 1, which is very important, which I'm very particular at, is your brand identity. So what do I mean by brand identity? It's your logo, your fonts, your colors, your brand statement, your brand image. Okay? When you are on social media, all your brand identity must be consistently the same. You cannot today, I decide to have red color, tomorrow I decide to have blue, or you have red on Facebook, blue on Instagram, green on TikTok. No, you cannot do that, okay? Because you're going to confuse your target audience, or you're not going to attract new target audience, new prospect to your brand. So you must be consistently the same throughout all your social media platform, your bio, your image as well, okay? Now, the other thing to do to be consistent on social media is your social media posting. Whenever I say to be consistent on your social media posting, a lot of people say, wow, I cannot post 7 times a day. Yes and no. Why? Because consistency is what you decide. So if you decide that consistency means I post 7 times a week, then that is your consistency. But to somebody else, their consistency maybe is 3 times a week. They want to post from Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So that is their consistency. So you need to decide what is consistency to you. 7 times a week to post or 3 times a week to post. So that is your consistency. And lastly, your consistency had to be in your message. Your messaging must be consistent. So if your messaging is all about woman empowerment, be consistently talking about it. Be consistently showing up on other social media platform with your message. Okay, if your message is all about health, wellness, then be consistent with the message there. Okay, so to summarize, to recap, how to create your personal brand presence on social media. Number 1, make sure you establish your foundation, who you are, who do you serve, what's your vision and mission, and your messaging. And when you're on social media, focus on your subject matter expert, differentiate yourself from the rest of the crowd through your superpower, and then be consistent with your brand identity, your social media postings, and your message. So I hope today's short sharing is able to help you at least get an idea how to create your strong personal brand presence on social media. With this, I thank you and I pass this time over to Annie. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Julia. All right, okay. I hope you all pick up some tips from Julia as well. Okay, I can I somehow sense that I don't know, maybe it's my connection. I keep hearing a little bit of disruption here, but I'm also very thankful I managed to pick up some tips, especially like what is a superpower and so on and so forth. All right, for those who know me, besides running events, besides doing IWCI, I do a lot more things. So when you are asking those questions, what goes through my head is like, okay, so what do I really represent? All right, and there's so many things I want to do. All right, so if let's say today I represent brand A, and tomorrow I represent brand B, and then tomorrow next day I represent brand C, then what would be people thinking of me? All right, so yeah, so this is probably some question that is going through my head, is that I feel that I probably would have to sort that out. All right, so for those who are watching, I mean, if you have some questions that could be related to how to keep that social media strong for your own presence, like I say, feel free to leave your question there. We'll come back to the necessary question in a little while. All right, so yeah, so now we learn about presence, but what we know, the moment we are on social media, we run the risk of our brand getting stolen, or maybe, you know, people being more aware of like, okay, maybe this logo looks so nice, maybe this brand sounds so fantastic, shall I just take and use? All right, so I think all of us will have that fear. We want to have a strong presence, but yet we want to know how can we protect our brand. All right, so the next speaker coming up next is Christy. Christy is one of our member as well. So Christy is the founder and director of the Blossom Consulting Private Limited, a corporate service company that provides corporate secretariat services, contract management, personal data protection, consulting, and brand protection, or in terms of what we know, intellectual property. Christy is a lawyer by training, and she has accumulated years of legal experiencing, focusing on corporate and business projects, including million-dollar business transaction from startup to prestigious law firm. So I'm very sure Christy is going to be able to share with us some tips on how can we do our part, all right, to protect our brand, to make sure that we understand certain also legal regulation, and we ourselves don't cross the line of maybe taking into some of these brands and so on and so forth. All right, so Christy, it's over to you.
Thanks, Annie. Thanks, Annie, for that beautiful introductions. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Christy here. So today I would like to share about brand protections. So before sharing about brand protections, a lot of people ask me, what is IP? What is trademark? Is trademark considered as IP? IP is an intellectual property. So intellectual property, there are many types of IP. So trademark can be one types of IP. There are many types of IP such as patents, is to protect innovations, inventions. Copyrights is to protect like the novels, books, journals, musics. And trademark is particularly is to protect brand, is to protect the image and brand for your business and products. So IP refers to human mind where exclusive rights are provided by the law. So IP is an intangible asset for your business. It is very important for business owners when they are going to expand their business, and especially to overseas markets, to locally, they want to raise funds, or they want to have more people know about their business. So brand is very important, and some people come to me to ask, how do I protect my brand? What is trademark? Do I need to register trademark? What are the differences if, let's say, I don't register trademark? What are the risks? So today I'll be sharing for you some tips to protect your image and brand for your business and products. So let's start with what is trademark. So trademark, usually you can see when you go to supermarkets, there are a lot of brands, different type of products. So trademark usually is a sign used by a person in the course of business or trade to differentiate your goods or services from other traders. So trademark can be in the form of like letter, words, numeral, name, label, like packaging is also can be trademark registered, colors, or any combinations of these elements. Also, what are the benefits of registering trademarks? So firstly, it gives you exclusive rights to use your brand, your trademark in your business, in your trades. And secondly, it also prevents others using your trademark. If let's say you already registered and other people cannot use your trademark without your consent. Also, thirdly, when you have registered your trademark as early as possible, it prevents a later trademark being registered if, let's say, the mark is very similar or same to you in your particular trade or industry. And lastly, it gives you a legal rights, like basic rights, to sue for infringement. If, let's say, after you have registered your mark, and then after that you realize someone in your industry, their mark, their brand is very similar or same to you. So it gives you a legal rights to pursue legal actions if you see that it jeopardize your business reputations and your business value. Also, it also reduces the risk of being sued by other people if, let's say, your mark is registered. That's why a lot of people, they come to me, do I need to register mark at this stage when I start my business, or later when my business have really well known? So my answer is because of the risk management. Also, if let's say your mark is registered, when you pursue lawsuits or legal actions, you no need to prove the ownership of the mark, because when you register your trademark, you have the certificate of ownership of your brand, of your mark. So from there, you can reduce the cost for pursue legal action. If let's say someone really in the market, they really use or imitate your mark, so it reduces the risk of expensive legal suit. Also, if let's say your mark is in the stage of raise funds, is looking for investors, shareholders, when your brand is registered, protected, under the trademark laws. It also gives confidence to customers and also investors about your products or goods. So what are the risks of unregistered trademark? If let's say your trademark is not registered, your brand is not registered, it's also considered as trademark, just that it's unregistered trademark. So obviously there's no registration certificate issued, there's no proof of ownership, but it is still protected under the common law. So under the common law, there's this passing off legal terms we use, is to prove that the brand, the mark is owned by you. That one, they will be more costly and time consuming in terms of the legal proceedings, because you need to prove like the evidence of use, how many years you have used this mark in your business, how well known it is in the market of your trade or area. Yeah, so they are more costly and also time consuming in terms of the legal proceedings, if let's say there are certain issues to your brands or mark. And also, if the risk of unregistered trademark, there's also a possibility of being sued for infringement. If let's say your mark is unregistered but other people register the mark, then the person may take actions against you for the mark, because their mark is registered but yours is not. So there are legal issues. It is high possibility to get into legal issues or legal suits if let's say your trademark is unregistered. And then thirdly is no border enforcement. What do you mean by no border enforcement? If let's say your trademark is registered, this is important, especially you import goods or you export goods, import and export goods. So if let's say your trademark brand is registered, you can apply seizure request from Singapore Customs to seize the infringing goods. If let's say you have this certificate of ownership for your mark, if it's registered. Yeah. So this is also an important part, because not many people know the benefits also. And once your mark is registered, then the period of protections is forever, subject to 10 years. Every 10 years, there's this renewal, provided that your business, your brand is in use. Yeah. So the trademark process, last time was 9 months. Right now is 1 year. So I think it's because of COVID period. That's why they extend the time to 1 year process for them to assess the trademark applications. So how do you know that your mark or brand is eligible for trademark registrations? Firstly is your brand or image must be represented graphically. So when you submit the application, you must have the image clearly represent your goods or services. And then your mark must be unique and special. It must not be confusing similarly to an existing trademark on a register. So that's why when client come to us, it is very important to do trademark search, because we want to know what are the chances of your trademark applications will get through. If let's say the trademark search, we always go through trademark search, because trademark search also can be very complicated. Like for example, like for one mark, I want to do a search. The report can be like 50 pages or to 100 pages for a certain class. So also important, the classifications of goods or services. So the trademark search also need to consider the classifications of goods or services and the trade that you are in, and also the trademark, the image of your brand. Yeah. And then it must not be descriptive of goods or services, such as like descriptive can be like best or easy or cheap. But if let's say there's combination of certain element in the particular mark, this one we will need to assess further, because some mark when they have some descriptive terms in their mark, sometimes it can go through, because when we assess the trademark, the eligibility, we will look it as a overall the trademark. How does it appear to the public, and then is it unique enough, special enough? Yeah. And the process of trademark registrations in Singapore, there are 4 stages. First is applications. Second stages is examinations. Means once your application submitted, there will be examinations phrase where the examiner will examine your trademark applications. And then the third stage is, if let's say your trademark applications is okay, there's no issues during examination stage, it will go into publication stage, where the IPOS, they will publish your mark in the journal. And during the publication stage, it will open to oppositions. Means if let's say anyone, if let's say other party outsider, they see your mark in the journal, and if let's say they think that, oh, your mark is very similar to them, they want to oppose, or there's some issues on registering the mark, they will oppose. So this opposition period is open to others to oppose. But if let's say no people oppose during this publication period, the next stage will be registrations. Means IPOS will issue a registration certificate to you to certify, to confirm that your mark is successfully registered, and it will last for 10 years. So upon every 10 years, if let's say you still want to continue to use the mark, you can apply for a renewal applications to renew. Yeah. So currently the flow of the trademark application, as I mentioned, is about 1 year. So, but during this 1 year, you can start to use the mark. Doesn't mean that if let's say you have not got your certificate, you can't use. You still can use, just that it is in the process. Yeah. And a lot of people ask me, right, what is the TM symbol? There's TM, sometimes it's the R symbol. TM symbol, just to tell others that you use your logo or name as a trademark, but doesn't mean that the mark is registered or protected. Yeah, the R symbol means registered. Registered means your mark, you already got your certificate, and then your mark is registered with IPOS. IPOS is the intellectual property of Singapore. Yeah. So I think I saw some questions. Later I will attend to the questions. Yeah, so what do you need for a trademark application submissions? Graphical representations of the mark, the list of goods or services that represent your business activity. The list of goods or services can be complicated because some people, my clients, they come to me, they don't know what is classifications of goods or services. For trademark registrations, each goods or services classifications represent your business. So if let's say your business is in the clothing industry, so for clothing industry business, there's several goods, classification of goods will represent the business. And then if let's say you open a clothing store, then you sell other goods, maybe some accessories, or hats or shoes or other goods. So it may fall under different classification. So it is also important to check with your consultant or someone who help you to do trademark, the list of goods or services, because these classifications of goods or services is like a coverage of your protections for your trademark. Yeah. And then thirdly is the application name and address. It is also needed for submissions. And there's also a declarations you will need to make for the submissions. These declarations just to ensure that you intend to use the mark or you already use the mark in the course of trade. Means that this is like to prevent people to apply or submit trademark not for the intentions of the use for their business. It's like a bad faith. So even though that your trademark application successfully registered, but if let's say your mark are applied for bad faith intention, means it's not for the proper use of your business. Some other people, they may challenge also, they may challenge your registered trademark. Yeah. Like, as I said, like the classifications of goods or services, there are 34 classes of goods, 11 classes of services. Yeah. So for this, if let's say you want to know more, you can let me know what are the classification of goods or services that apply to your trademark. Yeah.
I think there's a question regarding how long
Yes.
is the opposition period.
Opposition period is about like 2 months. Yeah. 2 to 3 months. Let me check. Yeah, I think it's 2 months. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes, that's all, is it?
Yeah, so far, I mean, I think some of them we need to digest the information. All right,
Yeah.
even I was trying to scribble down to see whether what are the important things, and also whether I done anything that's not right. So I think we have like I said, I also scribbling down what is necessary and all that kind of thing. So Christy, you got anything else to add?
Oh yeah, I want to have another point, very quick one, which is for Singapore, right? There are tax reductions for your IP costs. Let's say you engage like a consultant like me to support you on trademark registrations. The cost, the expenses for trademark registrations, if you go to IRA's website, you can check that there's tax reductions for IP expenses. Also, if let's say you want to expand your business to overseas, to other countries, there's also a government grant called Market Readiness Assistance, MRA. It is up to 30,000. You can claim to absorb your trademark costs. Yeah. So government in Singapore is really supportive on business owners. They also want business owners, to be very well educated on intellectual property, because being Singapore is a digital hub. They also want to improve Singapore business as a global intangible assets and IP hub in the next 10 years. Yeah, that's all my presentation today. Hope you all can absorb, and if let's say any questions, you can let me know. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Christy. I think the very last point, right? Everybody, at least the Singaporean business here, are very happy to hear that. All right, we are always very happy to hear that the government is giving us grant. All right, and now that you're saying that if we do our IP, we actually can get some sort of support from our Singapore government here in Singapore. All right, so thank you, Christy, for sharing. Like I say, I'm also taking note whether I've make some errors in terms of trademarking and so on and so forth. So I too also have some questions, but I'm going to hold that for later. All right, because I'm sure we would like to hear from our next and last speaker. She's none other than Marie Ang. Marie is also one of our past EXCO committee. She's our Horn secretary. And Marie is actually a certified John C. Maxwell and ICF coach, mentor, and serve on various advisory boards of several businesses in Australia, China, Hong Kong, and of course here in Singapore. And with over 30 years of corporate management experience in various countries and in diverse industries such as education, banking, finance, and even aviation, Marie inspires others to live a life of significance. She's also an author detailing her experience in leadership, personality, conflict management, and relationship. Marie is a sought after speaker in various business, education, and professional area, and was recognized and profiled even in Huffington Post as a leader in spearheading leadership in women. So, of course, we're very, very thankful that she's here with us. I mean, she's after all a sought after speaker. All right, so over to you, Marie, to share with us your knowledge in terms of branding.
Thank you, Annie. Wow, you read out the whole bio. Gotta do it in two-liners next time. So, a question to all of you who are watching right now. Let me ask you a question. What is invisible and you carry it around, despite you're dressed up, your handbag and everything else that you have with you? That when you go out, when you're in a house, when you're with your family or with friends, what is that one thing that you carry with you all the time? It is invisible. Can you give a guess? So just type it in the chat group. What exactly is it? And then I will explain further. It's invisible, but you carry it with you 24/7. So you can type it in the group chat quickly, and then I will share some tips with you. Okay, so Annie said my brand. Everyone else is pretty much invisible. Knowledge, yes, very good. Anything else? Keep it coming. It's invisible. You don't know you're carrying it, or probably people can see it but may not be able to describe it. Okay, so the answer is you carry your reputation, you carry your your brand with you, how you behave, how you talk, how you engage, how you in a sense interact. So to wrap up all the speakers, I'll just cover a few things here and there, and then I will share some of the tips. For example, Angie said look professional. So example, if you go to the market, do you look professional or do you look yourself? Do you feel yourself? If you have a business that encourages people to look their best, do you look the best yourself when you go to the market? Okay, and Julia talked about brand presence, and then you go to your social media and you post about your feet, your hands, and nothing related to what you do. Is that what it is? Is that your brand? Is that you? And Christy talked about protecting your brand, although she said it's trademark and all that, but you are the trademark of you. And so how you project outside, to people is very important. Oftentimes you hear of this saying, it takes many hours, days, weeks, months, years even to build up a brand. But it takes just one mistake or 1 second or one incident to totally destroy your whole brand or reputation. Now, some of you may have heard, of some incidences that you read on social media about, for example, like that about 4 years ago, about this couple that chased an old man out from his table because they wanted to sit there, but he was there by himself. And so netizens were very angry that how could this couple, treat this old man like that. But what you see on the video is how this couple treat this old man. But what you didn't see or probably didn't read is that this man is a director of several companies. This lady is I think she's a tutor or something. And because of that incident on social media, they lost their businesses, they lost their clientele, they lost everything that they have built so hard for, because they missed the fact that people are watching them. In other words, people watch what you do. They don't do what you say. And it's very important that when you preserve your trademark or your brand or yourself or your professionalism or the way you dressed up, that you be mindful that actually people are watching you. So let me just give you a few tips. Number one, now that is one, ONE, one. Okay. How do you differentiate yourself from other people? ONE, one. Offerings. What do you have to offer? Okay, as Julia said it so succinctly and so eloquently, was, what do you have to offer to people to help them alleviate their pain? So offerings. Is it a niche? If you are like everybody else, chasing every bling that comes along, everything that's trending, everything that's like that's in the market, just because your friends are doing it, therefore you're doing it, you will be known for everything and for nothing at the same time. So what is your niche? And the third one is, what is your product or services? What are you known for? What exactly is it that people come to you for? As again, once again, Julia was saying about, like, what how do you address people's pain point? So this is very important in that sense, because otherwise, right, what's going to happen to you, that you're working so hard to try and build a brand, but we know that you work very hard. But do people know you for what you're working hard for? Basically, that's what it is. Right. So let me give you a few tips. The word is hear, HEAR. H stands for hear from others, a reference. Ask your friends, ask your even some of the people that you may have successfully built some form of services or have already offered. I said, what do you hear about me? What is it about me that people want to come to me for? What is it that I'm good at? Don't be offended, or don't get hesitant in asking for feedback, because this is where people want to get to know you more. People want to know that you are actually known for something. Example, if I am a counselor, so people know that I'm a counselor. I counsel in marriage, I counsel in women empowerment, I also counsel youths at risk. And so whenever they hear something like, oh, I got marriage problem, or my friend has marriage problem, I will go and see Marie, because that's what she does. And also, as what Julia has pointed out, is this, on social media, write your story. Write stories to enhance your brand. In other words, when you are so I will use me as a reference again. So if I see like a marriage in trouble, I'll write a story about marriage, and then I will talk about like what are some of the tips that you can use. So don't go off on the tangent and say like, I'm good at eating hawker food, or I look at my feet massage, all these things. Concentrate on what you can do. Give a bit of humor to it. Don't be so serious until people go, oh, it's so boring, so dry. Add a bit of tips to it. What can we do to enhance our marriage, as an example? Okay, so hear from others, get feedback. E stands for engagement. Be engaging. Don't just sell, tell, and people will go like, oh, why she keeps telling us what to do? Like, okay, if she tells me what to do, at least tell me how to do it. Don't just tell, marriage is important, our youths are suffering, women are being, ostracized. It's just telling, but how do we address the problem and the solutions to it? That is also your brand, because you come with solutions. So A stands for attitude. Have a good attitude about it. Don't be afraid of feedback. Don't be afraid even of people who give you bad comments. To be honest with you, some of the best comments are actually not so good comments. Why? Because they check out our blind side. They check out what we don't know, or perhaps some things that we may have said could have been misaligned. So it's very important to understand that not all bad comments are, trolls, or, things that are not good for you. Well, I have comments that, for example, like, you keep posting about you and your husband, going for date nights, as an example. Now, to a lot of people, it's like, oh, I look at you, you're so jealous. You go on a date nights, everything. But actually, what I'm trying to do, and I often put a story to the picture, is this: a date night need not have to have candlelight, need not have to dress up sexy, need not have to put on full makeup. You can just have a date night eating ice cream with each other at a bus terminal. It's as simple as that. Or even a walk in a park, or even sitting in the swing, and just enjoy yourself. It doesn't have to be 2 hours long. It can be 30 minutes, and whatever time that you can afford. In other words, just have me time as well as couple time. So that is a tip for marriage, in a sense. So that's what you post on social media as well, right? And R for results. Our results meaning that, for example, are people coming to you and say, hey, I learned, the thing. I went out on the first date with my husband, and it was, wasn't that difficult. Now, when you make things simple for people, people are more inclined to follow. People are more inclined to learn and do something about it. If you make it too complicated, then people cannot follow what you're saying. And so it becomes like your brand becomes like, oh, which is a very complicated one, cannot follow, cannot understand. And then on your social media posts, right? Don't post until so long, people are scroll. I mean, then you miss your point altogether. That was the feedback that was given to me when I write things on social media, particularly Facebook. And when you exceeded more than 2 scrolls, which is 2 pages, right? It's too long, which means that, you may miss some of the points that you want to give to other people. Make it short, sharp, sweet, but impactful at the same time. So people can ask you questions and say, if I have something to do with, say, my as a woman, how do I feel? Like there was a post about menopause. Now those are topics that people don't want to touch because they go, oh, it's scary, avoid it at all costs. But be daring, be bold, be courageous. If that's what you do, if you're into women empowerment, be empowered to do things. Empowerment doesn't mean give you title or status. Empowerment means give you the authority, give you a sense of power, letting you know that you can say things, giving you the opportunity to both learn, fail, or succeed. So at the end of the day, what we want to do is this. Have one, ONE, offering, niche, and a product or service. And from there, right, make sure you hear, HEAR, hear from others. Engage with the people that, that want to work with you or talk with you or comments, on social media or so on and so forth, Have a good attitude. Don't bring out your bad attitude in the sense that, at home you fight with your husband, cat, dog, your children and everybody, and then come out and say, look at me, I'm very angry today. My brand is helping to empower women, but I'm a very angry woman. It doesn't show a good image in a sense. And finally, results, what are the results you want to achieve? Do people come to you, show you, that they have changed because you have built a brand of providing solutions, of helping people to succeed. In other words, you leave a better version of them, after having chatted with you or talked with you or worked with you. So reputation is very important. Remember, at all times, be mindful that people are watching. We always have to be very careful. So Annie asked this question, what is one? ONE. One is offerings. O for offerings. N for niche. E for entity. Entity means that products or service. And with that, right, I know that there may be some questions popping up. So I just really want to thank all the speakers, and particularly Annie and IWFCI, for giving me the opportunity to serve in this sense. So over to you, Annie, and open to questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marie. All right. So yes, I was typing there so that I know people can hear, because I was like trying, okay, offering what? All right, okay, so we have to get the information there. All right, so one refers to offering, refers to niche, and refers to empathy. All right, so yes, so thank you so much, Marie, for sharing and to do a quick sum up for all of us. And I think there's a couple of questions here. I saw one question that is for Angie. All right, so let me just put it up so you can take a look. So the question is, must we put on makeup? Must put on makeup a must for business meeting? What's your view as minimum grooming is needed for a business meeting or networking session if we don't like to be too loud? Angie, you're muted. Cannot hear her. Okay, while you get sorted out, right? Let me just share a little bit of my own personal take. I'm not someone who likes to. Yes, we can.
Okay, you continue. Okay. Let you finish what you want to say.
No, it's okay. You carry on first. I'm sure Christina wants to hear your answer.
Okay. Now, of course, when it comes to makeup, right? Different people has got different level of makeup. Okay, to some people, a full makeup means, right, they have got the eyeshadow, the eyebrows, the mascara all in. That's a full makeup. Now, the bottom line is you have to look sharp, you have to look clean, you have to look groomed. All right. So the minimum I would say is now, if you are very blessed with good skin, you can do away with foundation, right? You can probably just put a bit of powder. But assuming you have got skin that it's not too, you have a bit of marks here and there, it's always good to have a bit of coverage, especially when you're online and then we are closer to the screen, you can see clearer, right? You can see my wrinkles, you can see my marks, you can see my pigmentation. So it'll be good if it's on our online, we do a little bit of coverage, okay? Because that will actually give you a bit of confidence as well. Now, eyebrows is definitely one that you need to have for sure, because that defines your whole face, your whole features, all right? And of course, lipsticks and eyeliner. Eyeliner is because if you have got tired eyes, and then you want to look a bit brighter and sharper, definitely eyeliner, you should put it on. So it doesn't matter actually whether it's online or offline, like I said earlier before, right? In fact, a lot of people always think like, hey, because it's online, so there is an excuse of not dressing up and not looking good and not looking groomed, which is actually very wrong. Yeah, so I hope this answers your questions. Was it Christina?
Yes.
Christina asked the questions, right? Okay.
But is there a minimal, like consider what is minimal grooming?
Minimum. Just like I mentioned,
Yeah,
eyebrow, of course, eyebrow. Yeah, eyebrow and lipstick, eyeliner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
If I
including
may-
eyeliner?
Yeah.
Eyeliner is because if let's say you have got tired eyes, you don't need to look a bit sharper and more alert, right? Eyeliner do help in this.
Mm. And if
I
I may
see.
add to the conversation,
Mm.
right? Your very, very basic is actually your eyebrows and lipsticks. Now I say this because that I've seen in a Zoom where like they don't have the eyebrows, so they appear like they look like very shocked expression, number one, but they look like those Japanese in the old days without the eyebrow thing. And then your lipstick mustn't be too bright red, because one time I was in a Zoom and the lipstick was so red. All we noticed was this lips moving. And so I think I add on to the fact that that is the minimum lah. We can do is eyebrows. It doesn't have to put on false eyelash. A bit of lipstick. And if you look pale, then perhaps just a bit of blusher lah. Just as a as a suggestion.
Yeah, actually you're right about the lipstick, like because sometimes it can be quite scary. Suddenly you just see the red lips appear on the screen.
And I think not everybody can carry off a pair of like a really red lipstick.
Yeah.
I think some I
Actually,
don't know,
red
maybe I
lipstick,
guess it comes to skin color, right? Yeah. Some people carry off very nicely. Some people like it looks like there's this two sausage there. That's my so I think different people carry it differently, right? So having said that, right, I just want to ask Angie. For women, we have so many roles, we have so many responsibility, we do so many things especially like
so many hats to wear,
right? So how do we balance the kind of grooming, or do we dress to our role, or do we dress based on ourselves? Like just now Marie was saying that the invisible thing is actually we ourselves, right? So how do we dress? Do we dress for ourselves, or do we dress to suit the role?
Yeah, Annie, I think that's a very good question. In fact, a lot of people probably want to know about this. I think the best way is, right, okay, you ask yourself, most of the time when you dress, who do you dress for? If today I give you a choice, would you be dressing like you're dressing now? I don't think so, right, Annie? I won't be wearing this. Okay, now, because of our events, because of what we're doing right now, so that's why you're dressed as what we are. I wouldn't want to wear a jacket now. No, you see, it's so hot at home. Yeah, but I have to dress because of what we are doing right now. So first, we dress for others as well, because that's a form of respect. And I would say that the most important thing is, if you are not sure how you should dress, you should ask yourself first these questions. How do you want others to look at you? That would be a very good guideline for you. If you want people to perceive you as someone that is a little bit more serious, then you dress up a little bit. But if you are at certain, like what you said, you have got different roles, right? Sometimes you are doing events, you need to look a bit casual. Then that is your occasion, you say. So it doesn't mean that you have got to be always in jacket, in full suit. It's not necessary. So that is actually one factors that you can consider. Yeah, I hope it answers your questions, Annie.
Yes, it does.
Mm.
But I will still always have that confusion.
I know you too well.
Yeah, because I mean, now Singapore weather, we want to dress like a bit more casual sometimes.
Yes.
And yet, we need to be respectful, like you say, to the people that we are meeting and to the events and the activities that we are taking part in, right? So sometimes we may have to be torn between what is right and what is comfortable.
Mm.
Right. So I guess and like I say, it doesn't help because now social media is so popular. Every one of us is on social media. What we are doing right now is on social media. So yes, I may be wearing my casual and all that, and I happen to take a photo, a selfie, and I post it on social media. And the next thing you know is that people will run and say, okay, so why is Annie dressed that way? So my question to Julia would be, how like that? So I know you have so many different roles again, right? So what, like for example, like if Marie go on a date night with her husband and she dressed casual, and then she posts a photograph, and then people are like, hey, why Marie you dressed like that? Or let's say myself or whoever, right? So how do we manage this?
I think
Julia, you have
always
some answers for us.
Yeah, I guess is a lot of people will ask that questions, right? But the one thing I think everybody needs to know is personal branding is not just one facet of who you are. Is that's why I say it's holistic. It's multifaceted because we carry so many roles, right? That's why I always say the core of you need to understand who you are, the core of you, so that it will never change. So whether you are a working professional, you are at home, you're running errands, you are still the same person. So like what Angelia said, even if you come on social media and you take a picture, so we will know that, okay, Annie today, very dressed up. Maybe she's, weekend spending her time. And then today she's so dressed up because she has to host this whole thing. So she's a little bit more dressy. But Annie as a dressed up person and Annie as the running errand person, it's still the same person. Her brand is still there. So we know Annie through her brand. So however you come, your outlook, your presentation, the core of you is the same, right?
Yeah.
So because we are not one dimensional person, so we carry a lot of hats, a lot of titles in our lives. Yeah. So be yourself and know what you like, how you present yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. I can add on to what Julia is saying. I think there's a lot of confusion about if you dress up this way, do you behave this way? Actually, it's not. What you basically need to do is this: who are you known as, and what are you known as? For example, if you're a kind person, it doesn't matter what you dress, whether shorts and t-shirts. You're a kind person. If you are jogging, we don't expect you to go and wear a jacket and run around, just because you're corporate. That's not the thing. What I think what Julia is trying to do, personal branding means your values. How do you manifest your values as opposed to how do you dress? Because it's also for Christy as a trademark, for example. Just because she's a trademark lawyer doesn't mean she goes around wearing trademark signs and say that's not what it is. But how you dress means how you behave. And how you behave is what people perceive and see you as. So you can dress up in Prada, but you're a biatch. Sorry if I use that word, but it makes no difference. You can wear a $20,000 dress and you're a biatch. Doesn't mean anything. That means you're known as that, unfortunately. Yeah. So that's my take, lah. I think that's what Julia is trying to say about personal branding.
Okay, just let me add on. So actually, when it comes to dressing, there is no right or wrong, but the key word here is being appropriate. Yeah, I would think this is something good that we can use it as a guide. Being appropriate to the people that you meet, being appropriate to the occasion. Just like what Marie said, you're going for sports. Obviously, I don't expect you to wear a jacket. You're not being appropriate to wear a jacket or jogging. Am I right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So appropriate will be the key word.
Exactly.
Okay, there's a question from Cheryl. I believe it's for Julia. The question is, about personal branding. Everyone is talking about personal branding nowadays, but how can a company benefit from this if personal branding is about an individual and not as a corporate?
Okay, that's a very, very, very good question. So it's so easy to brand ourselves when we are business people, right? Because we are our brand is us. So what about working professionals? How do they brand themselves? Because they are attached to a company. So I would say that it still go back to knowing who you are and what Marie has said, how are you being perceived. So in a company, if you are CEO, okay, so then how do you present yourself as a CEO? Who are you as a CEO? It's still a person. Whether you're CEO, whether you are a secretary, you are admin staff, you are still who you are. You're still you. Okay, so your personal brand is still intact, as in you are still you. However, when you step into an organization, then you are representing that brand. Okay, so if that brand is all about empowerment, inclusiveness, then your behavior, your actions, the speech must be in line with the company. But if you don't agree with what the company is doing, then you cannot be with the company lah. But if you're in the company, then everything has to be aligned. So you still have your own personal brand, and you still represent the company's brand as well.
Agree.
I hope you answered the question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm sorry, but I'd like to add a story to what Julia is saying, just for reference.
Yes.
The Singapore Airlines girl. Now, I always use this story, and I absolutely love them. I absolutely love this brand. And so I was in Changi Airport one day, and then there's this group of Singapore Airlines girls and guys as well. And so they're walking, and then after that, I was waiting for the lift, and I was surrounded by 10 of them. I was like, okay, interesting. So I pressed the lift door, and then it opened, and they didn't step in, they didn't chong in. They say, please, after you. So they allow me, who is not in uniform, to go in first, as a passenger, treat me like a passenger. And so that was the thing. And then they all went in. And then later when the lift door opened and they are not getting out. You know what they did? They came out just to let me come out. So that was a service, not just a service, but their branding, they represent Singapore Airlines. That was the thing. So they don't want to tarnish the name of Singapore Airlines. Then what's interesting is at the food court, right? I saw them eating. Now, way before the government legislate that everybody should return their trays and bowls, right? They were doing it themselves. They ate there. They were in their uniform. They eat there and everything. And then they return the trays and the bowls politely, not a squeak, not anything, no pomposity, no lion dance, kind of thing. And then they just put it return quietly, and they behave impeccably. Now, if you say, how is that personal branding and corporate? This is what it is. If you wear the uniform, respect the uniform, respect the company. You may not have to respect the person. You don't have to respect your CEO, but you respect the position of the CEO, and you respect the company. And many people forget that. They wear the uniform of the company, they go out there and scold people, and then give middle finger and all sort of things. And then you are actually tarnishing not just your personal branding, you're tarnishing the entire corporate image. So I just thought I wanted to share this because it's so interesting. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And I actually have one pressing question I want to ask Christy. Yeah, we're talking about trademark and all that, right? And then, so I just have this thing in my mind: can a person be a trademark? I mean, we talk about logo, we talk about name, but can a person be a trademark? Like, I hear people telling you, say, oh, Annie, let's say, oh, your spectacle is a trademark and things like that. So can it be possible?
Have you because I saw some brands, right, like shoes brands, or they use the name of the person. Yeah, so the name is the brand. Yeah, so the name can be trademark.
Okay, so the name can be trademark, but the person ourselves cannot be trademark, right?
You mean the person as an image figure of a person?
Yeah, correct, like that
No,
person.
I don't think so. Yeah.
You don't think so? Okay. And then you were saying that trademark is global, right? So if I were to apply it, or let's say in my business is only in Singapore, the trademark is only applicable in Singapore.
Yeah, trademark is a jurisdictional basis. The protection is jurisdictional basis, meaning that if let's say your business is here, then your trademark registered here. And then different countries have different local authorities, and the process in other countries, overseas countries, may be different from each country.
Okay, then I see, right, just now you were also saying that we have the TM, we have the R, and then some we have C, which is copyright, right? So we can only indicate that when we have the official documentation from the authorities, right?
Not really. If let's say you haven't registered, but you want to use the logo as a trademark, you can put TM. That's what differentiate. Yeah, that's what differentiate as R. R means registered, but TM is like you can use the logo as a trademark, or you are in the process of registering, then you can use TM. Yeah,
So
doesn't
example,
mean
if
that.
you look at sorry?
Yeah, doesn't mean that it is registered. It is just.
So for example, if you look at our
yeah.
BRIM logo, right? Our BRIM, then we have the 4 other letters. So
Yes.
if IWFCI wish to, can we just put a TM there? Okay,
you can put TM. Actually, TM just telling other people saying that your brand used as a trademark, but doesn't mean that it is registered trademark. That's why trademark can be registered and unregistered. Yeah.
I see. So if I were to decide that the next time you see the BRIM logo and I put the letter TM there, it only just means that we trademark this logo. Then that means this logo belongs to IWFCI. Is that what we mean?
Yeah, you just want to use it as a trademark. Yeah, or you intend to trademark in the future, then you can put TM. But it doesn't give you a protections for registered trademark. Yeah.
I see. Okay. Hang on, I know Marie just sent me something, so I better just put it out there. Okay, so let me just do a quick check whether is there any other question. Hang on. Okay, I know Marie just typed something there. One meant be the one, different from others. Here is what you need to apply in your own personal and corporate branding. All right. Thank you so much for that. All these comments and chat will be actually be seen on the IWFCI page. All right, where the Facebook Live is ongoing right now. All right, so all our viewers and our fans and friends can actually see all this comment that is being typed up there. All right, so because we know that some may not be able to see it right now. So I'm mindful of the time. It's really 4:31. So I'd like to officially wrap up this entire session. So thank you once again, ladies, for joining us this Monday afternoon. And I'm very, very sure our friends who are watching the live would have definitely picked up some tips. I definitely have picked up some tips. Whether I would go through with them is another story. So I definitely would have picked up some tips. All right, so thank you once again. And I'll do stay on for a little while more while we end the broadcast session first. All right, thank you everyone, and we'll see you at our next session probably in another 1 month or 2 months time. All right, so have a great week ahead, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.